Hi and welcome to Corfu and Beyond. If you're new here and you find this video interesting and gives you some tips and tricks on how to book your holiday, then please do consider subscribing. If you're returning to the channel and you've already subscribed, then thank you very much. It does help the channel out immensely. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to get from the airport to your destination. Now, on the previous one, we spoke about how to get from the UK to Corfu, trying to find the best deals, looking for just flights instead of taking that package deal, which can give you some flexibility with your holiday if you want to choose different resorts on the island, or if you even want to do some island hopping. And in some times of the year, it can be cost effective as well. Now, in this video, as I said, we're going to be looking about getting from the airport to your resort. And there are many different ways you can do that. So hold tight. I hope you find it interesting. And if you do, like I said before, please do consider subscribing. You've made it through passport control, and now you're standing outside the terminal thinking, okay, how do I actually make it to my hotel, my villa, my apartment? In this video, I'm going to walk you through all of the main ways to get from Corfu Airport to your resort. Taxis, pre-booked transfers, buses and car hire. So you can pick the option that actually fits your trip. I'll cover how taxis work at Corfu Airport and the pros and cons, when it's worth pre-booking a shuttle or a private transfer, and who the public bus is realistically suitable for, and when it's better value to hire a car and just drive yourself. By the end, you'll have a really clear idea which option makes sense for where you're staying, what time you land, and how you like to travel, whether it's low stress, low budget, or maximum freedom. First, a really quick orientation because it helps everything else make sense. Corfu has one main airport just outside of Corfu Town. From there, as a rough guide, Corfu Town is about 10 to 15 minutes away by taxi or bus. The northeast coast, places like Arillas or Kassiopi, are typically around 40 minutes to an hour and 50 minutes depending on how far up you are. The northwest, places like Sidari and Arillas, is usually about an hour to an hour and a half. And the south, Nissaki, Kavos, that ranges from around 20 minutes to the nearest resorts up to about an hour for Kavos. So it's not a huge island, but it's big enough that your transfer choice really matters, especially if you're landing at night, traveling with kids, or on a tight budget. Let's start with taxis, because it's the most straightforward option. As you walk out of arrivals, there's a taxi rank right outside the terminal. You don't need to book in advance, you just join the queue and the taxis pull up in order. Taxis in Corfu generally use a meter with a base fare and a price per kilometre, plus possible extra charges for late night journeys or extra luggage. As a rough ballpark, and these can change, a taxi from the airport to Corfu Town is often in the region of around 15 to 20 euros for the car, not per person, depending on the time of day and traffic. Longer journeys to popular resorts like Sidari, Kassiopi, Kavos are often in the roughly 50 to 80 euro range per taxi, and that's also depending on distance and season. If you're a couple or a family of 3 to 4, a taxi can actually work out very good value compared to a one-person shuttle price. The pros of using a taxi: it's typically the fastest way to get to most resorts, especially late at night. It's a door-to-door option, so from the airport to your hotel, your apartment or your villa. No dropping off other people first. And that's great if you've got lots of luggage or tired kids. The cons: it's not usually the cheapest option, especially if you're solo. In peak summer, you can get queues at the taxi rank if several flights land together. For very late arrivals, it's worth checking if your accommodation can recommend a trusted driver or pre-book a taxi service. There are also apps and online services where you can pre-book a taxi at a fixed price, so you know the cost up front and somebody's waiting for you with your name. Next up, pre-book transfers and shuttle services. These are the ones you book online before you travel. Anything from a shared shuttle bus that does hotel drop-offs along the route up to a private minibus or car just for your group. A few key points: shared shuttle services from Corfu Airport to big resorts like Sidari or Kassiopi or Kavos can work out as a good budget option per person if you book ahead. Private transfers for small groups often price out roughly similar to a taxi, but you can get the benefit of having someone waiting for you with a sign and a fixed price agreed up front. If you would rather have a real person help you sort all of this out, Leslie from Corfu Selections can help you pre-book a taxi or arrange a minibus that suits your group. Her contact details are here below. Tell her where you're staying and how many of you are there, and she can suggest the most sensible options. Now, we've used Leslie countless times in the past and she does a wonderful service. So let's get to the pros and cons of this option. The pros are, you know the cost beforehand, which is good for budgeting for your holiday. Someone is expecting you, which is reassuring if you're arriving very late or if you're a nervous traveller. Shared shuttles can be really economical if you're solo or as a couple going on to a popular resort. The cons: shared shuttle buses often means waiting for other passengers and multiple stops, so it can take significantly longer than a taxi. If your flight is heavily delayed, you may need to contact the provider to reconfirm. You need to be comfortable finding the meeting spot in the arrivals area. So if you want a budget but don't fancy figuring out buses, a shared shuttle is your best middle option, especially for long transfers to the north and south of the island. Okay, the next option: using the public bus in Corfu. Now, if you're happy using public transport, there is a bus from Corfu Airport into Corfu Town. There's a city bus line that connects the airport with the main bus station, the port and Corfu Town Centre, and the stop is just right outside the terminal. Tickets are very inexpensive compared to taxis, usually just a few euros, but prices can change, so always check the latest info when you travel. So who is the bus good for? Well, if you're staying in or very near to Corfu Town, it's a cheap and easy option. If you arrive during the day, and obviously not too loaded with luggage, and you're comfortable reading timetables and figuring out stops. If you're heading to a resort outside of Corfu Town, you'll usually need to take the airport bus into town and then connect either to a blue city bus or a green intercity bus from the main bus station to your resort area. That can work fine if you're used to public transport and want to save money, but it's not everyone's idea of fun after a 3 to 4 hour flight. So what are the pros and cons of this option? So the pros are, it is probably the cheapest way to get from the airport into Corfu Town and to most places around the island. It's great if you're doing a budget city break and your hotel is near to the bus route. The cons are, it's not ideal late at night because the buses do not run 24/7. It can be awkward with lots of luggage or young children, and for out-of-town resorts, connections can be slow and infrequent, especially on Sundays or low in season. And then there's car hire, which can be brilliant if you want to explore the island properly and not just go from the airport to the sunbed and back. At Corfu Airport, you've got the usual big international brands, plus local companies with desks in the arrival hall. You'll normally pick up the car just outside the terminal. Prices vary a lot by month and how early you book. But as a general rough idea, small cars booked in advance for a shoulder season can sometimes be surprisingly affordable, with peak summer prices being higher. Always check current prices before you book so that there are no surprises. So, when is car hire worth it? Well, it's worth it if you're staying somewhere remote or up in the hills. Also, if you want to do day trips, beaches, villages, viewpoints, Corfu Town, maybe a bit of taverna hopping. And also if you're confident driving on narrow, twisty roads, and sometimes where the parking can be quite tight, especially in Corfu Town. So what are the pros and cons? Well, one of the big pros is you've got absolute maximum freedom. So no worrying about bus times or taxi costs every time you go out. It can work out cheaper overall than multiple transfers and taxis if you're exploring a lot. It's perfect for mixed itineraries, for example, a few nights in Corfu Town plus a week in a resort. And the cons? Well, the cons are, as I said before, you should be comfortable driving abroad, including in the dark or on unfamiliar roads. You need to factor in fuel costs, any extras like a second driver or child seats, and insurance cover and excess cover. Parking can be tight, especially in Corfu Town in high season. If you're a first timer who's going to stay mostly by the pool and on a local beach, you probably don't need a hire car. But if you're like me and you love exploring, hiring from the airport can be one of the best decisions you make. But also bear in mind, you can also hire a car at most of the resorts on the island, so you don't necessarily have to get one from the airport. So if you're on a transfer bus with a package deal, or if you're getting a taxi or organising your own shuttle bus, you always have the option of grabbing a rental car just for a couple of days while you're in the resort to go and do your exploring around the island. So which option actually fits your holiday? Let's run through a few common scenarios. Number 1, a city break in Corfu Town, hand luggage only, daytime arrival. The cheapest, the airport bus into town, then walk or a short taxi to your hotel. The easiest, taxi directly to your door, especially if it's hot and you've been travelling since 3 a.m. Number 2, family of 4, going to a big resort like Sidari, Kassiopi or Agios. If you've pre-booked a good deal, a shared shuttle can be very budget friendly. If you arrive late at night or you just want to get there quickly, a private transfer or taxi is worth the extra money. Number 3, a couple staying somewhere remote or in a village with limited buses. Consider a hire car from the airport, especially if you want to go exploring most days. Otherwise, I'd go with a pre-booked transfer to your base, then rely on a mix of walking, local buses and taxis. Number 4, a solo traveller on a tight budget. Corfu Town stay, bus plus walking will keep your costs really low. Resorts, a shared shuttle bus is usually the sweet spot between cheap and still fairly convenient. And number 5, very late night or early arrival. This is where I'd personally avoid relying on buses and instead go for either a pre-booked taxi or a transfer or even a hire car, so you're not stressing about a connection. So if I've missed any options on my list, please do let me know in the comments. Also, let me know about your experiences traveling from the airport to your location. Let me know if you had a good experience, a bad experience, or any interesting stories in the comments. Okay, a few final tips before you start booking. Number 1, always double check current prices for taxis, buses, transfers, and hire car, because they do change from year to year. Number 2, if you're traveling in July or August, consider pre-booking your transfer or hire car. The best deals and time slots go first. Number 3, keep a screenshot or even better, a printed copy of your booking confirmation handy in case you have any issues at the airport. And number 4, always have a bit of cash in euros on you. Super handy for bus tickets, small taxis, or a drink while you're waiting. If you found this helpful, please like the video, subscribe to the Corfu and Beyond channel, and share it with anyone planning a Corfu holiday, especially if they're a bit nervous about what happens after the plane lands. The next video in this mini-series is all about booking your own Corfu accommodation, whether you go for apartments, small hotels, or villas, and how to decide which one actually fits the way you like to holiday. Thanks for watching, safe travels, and I'll see you in the next one.